What happens when you cut a pumpkin and bury it in the soil? Let's take a time-lapse camera. Observe its process of change. On the 10th day, the water content of the pumpkin pulp begins to gradually lose. Because the pumpkin was cut open, it is not protected by the skin. Soon white mycelium appears. These molds, bacteria found and invaded the flesh tissue of the pumpkin. They use the organic matter in it, decompose into simple, inorganic substances, as its own nutrient. Rapid growth and reproduction. The acids and enzymes produced in this process. This accelerates the rot of the pumpkin. Over 30 days. The pumpkin has changed its appearance. There was no life in sight. I thought he would end this biochemical. Humus. It becomes fertilizer in the soil. However, on the 60th day, and a miracle happened. The shell of the pumpkin seeds protects the embryo from damage. When the temperature and humidity in the environment reach the conditions for germination, the seeds will start to sprout. Growing seedling root system. Absorb nutrients from rotten pumpkins. Will grow rapidly. Time flies. Pumpkin seedlings grow needles the size of a palm. At this time, seedlings can be dug up for transplanting. But this way of obtaining seedlings, it takes too long. It's better to change the way, how to grow pumpkins at home in 80 days. We start with the seedlings. Family planting. We chose this sweet and savory creamy pumpkin. Soak the seeds in warm water for 6 hours first. Let it absorb enough water. Break its dormant state. Wrap it in a damp cloth or wet tissue. Put it in the box and cover it for germination. In the meantime, we find some small flower pots or a disposable cup with holes punched in the bottom. Loose nutrient soil. Water-soaked soil. Open in a day or two. The sprouted pumpkin seeds were wrapped in a damp cloth before. By this time, they have already revealed. It needs to be broadcast in time. Plant carefully and put the seeds in the small hole dug. Be careful not to break the root system. Cover with soil and water it again. Seeds germinate after 7 days. A seedling that grows like this, we can transplant. It's in a bigger pot. Turn the nursery upside down. Hold it in your hand. Tap lightly. You can take off the seedlings with soil and roots. Transplanting time. We'd better choose evening or cloudy. Avoid direct sunlight. Reduced transpiration. Increased survival rate. There are leftover eggshells at home. It can be crushed and laid on the surface of the soil. Not only can it play a moisturizing role, it also releases some of the nutrients that plants need. After transplanting, remember to water the roots thoroughly. It's down to time. Pumpkin seedlings grow very quickly.
24 days.
The leaves are bigger than the palm of your hand. The vines have also grown a lot. It's thriving. Pumpkins are climbing plants. We plant balcony potted plants by hanging wrists. Make a hole in the edge of the flower pot. Tie a rope and pull it to the ceiling bracket. Wrap the pumpkin vine and grow it up. Next, when the seedlings grow this big, simple pruning management is required. Cut off the purple million that grow from the bottom leaves. Let the nutrients concentrate on the main wrist. After leaving the melon on the main wrist for a period of time, the bud has sprouted on the main wrist. At this time, in order to make the later pumpkins grow bigger, just apply some decomposed sheep manure and cow manure organic fertilizer. Cover the eggshell after fertilization. Maximize fertilizer efficiency. Cut off the old and yellow leaves at the bottom in time. It can prevent the occurrence of some pests and diseases. After 36 days, the pumpkin has bloomed. This flower with a small melon behind it is a female flower. But the male flowers below have not yet bloomed, so it's not possible to pollinate female flowers at this time. The next day, many female flowers were already in bloom. Can the male flower still? If it doesn't open, you can only wait. On the third day, the previous female flowers were all closed and drooping. The female flowers grow in the back and are still blooming one after another. But the male flower is still indifferent. It doesn't mean to be open at all. It's really urgent. Now only some female flowers can be cut off. Let's fry it, because they didn't pollinate successfully. The back will wither, yellow, rot, and fall, anxiously waiting for a few days. The male flower below is finally blooming, ready for artificial pollination. Pluck the male buds. Remove the petals to reveal the heart of the flower. Just point at the female flower. Cut off these female flowers that were not pollinated a few days ago. Another dish. Day 48. Now more male flowers are starting to bloom. We continue to pollinate the female flowers that grow behind. Successful female flowers will sit on the fruit. It started to grow. Day 56. The pumpkin is expanding rapidly. It's now bigger than the palm of your hand. Estimated to be about a jin. Day 70. The skin of the pumpkin gradually changes from green to light yellow. Ensure sufficient water and fertilizer at this time. Pumpkins can grow bigger. The old leaves and yellow leaves on the vines at the bottom continue to be cut off. Enhance ventilation. Pest reduction. Because it's a potted plant, the flower pot is not big. So there are only 2 melons left on one pumpkin vine. If you leave too much, you won't grow up. Bad quality. If it is planted on the ground, you can keep a few more. Day 80. Many old leaves on the vines turn yellow and wither. The pumpkin is getting darker. Epidermis hardens. It's mature. Harvest it and leave it for a while. Sweetness will be higher. Although this pumpkin is not big, but it's delicious. Did you learn it?